What's up y'all, and welcome back to my channel. In today's video we are going to be playing with the new Barely Basics palette from Glaminatrix Cosmetics, and I am so excited about this one because the color story in this palette is everything that I want to play with right now. It is 100% a neutral with a twist palette. We've seen a lot of these lately. Every single brand seems to be coming out with one, but I'm not mad about it because this is what I want to reach for. This is the vibe that I'm feeling lately. We are nearing the end of summer, moving into those fall months, and this is giving me fall vibes 100%. So this is a 20 shade pan palette. You do have 4 iridescent toppers up here. I know they all look like they're a white topper on camera, but this one has a purple flip, an orange flip, a green flip, and then like a gold flip to it. This middle row is going to be your sparkly metallics, and then you have 12 mattes down here. And I love the selection of mattes in this palette. You've got your purples, your oranges, your greens, and then you have this row right here, which is going to be true neutral browns. They don't lean warm, they don't lean cool. This one looks white, but it is just a very like neutral beige shade up close. I love the curation of this. I love the color selection, and I'm really excited about it. You can 100% take this row by row to get a nice cohesive monochromatic look, or you can mix and match and do whatever you want. The possibilities are endless, and I've really been enjoying Glaminatrix lately. It is a newer brand to me. I didn't really get into them until this year, and so I feel like I'm still kind of getting to know the brand and the formula, but so far I have enjoyed what I've picked up. I haven't encountered any issues. Their mattes blend out really nicely. Their sparkles, metallics, toppers, all of that go on my lids really nicely. I don't experience creasing, so I'm excited to dive into this palette and see if I have the same experience with this one that I have with their other eyeshadows that I already have in my collection. So we are going to create 2 different looks, and at the end of the video I'm going to give you my first initial impression thoughts with this palette. Alright, so we're zoomed in. My eyes are primed with my MAC Paint Pot in the shade Painterly. This is my absolute holy grail eye primer. I do have very oily eyelids. The rest of my skin is very normal, but for some reason my eyelids, they get very oily. If I don't use certain eye primers, they will just kind of eat through the shadow, and this one works perfectly. So for our first look, I think we're gonna go in with these purples over here. I just have to. They're calling my name. As much as I want to create 4 different looks, we're gonna stick to 2. So for the first one, I think we're just gonna play with this one row right here, and I'm gonna go ahead and start with this shade. This is called Leggings. I love it. I'm gonna pick this up with a BK Beauty 201 brush, and I'm just gonna fluff this into my crease, building up some depth, definition, the shape of the eye look that I want. I'm gonna bring it up a little bit, and this is just going to be my base shade to start out this eye look. Alright, so next I'm going to go in with this mid-tone purple shade right here. This one is called Like, and I'm going to pick that up with a Singe Beauty EO3 brush, and I'm just going to start to build up a little bit more depth into my crease, into my outer corner, and just start to build that shape that I want out here. Nothing crazy. I am going to take this down onto my lower lash line as well, and like I said, we're just going to create a monochromatic purple eye look. Alright, to deepen up my outer corner, I'm going to go in with this deep plum shade down here. This is called Holy Grail. So I'm going to pick it up with my Singe Beauty EO4 brush, and like I said, I'm just going to deepen up my outer corner, add as much depth as I can out here, but I'm not going to take it very far in. I don't want this to take over my look. I just want to have that depth, that smokiness, that drama out here, and I'm going to bring it down onto the very outer corner of my lower lash line as well. I'm not going to bring it far over. I just kind of want everything to wrap around and be nice and cohesive. Alright, let's put some sparkle on the lid. So I've already gone in and primed with my NYX glitter primer, and I'm going to start with this shade right here, put it all over my lid. This one is called Hashtag. So I'm just going to pick this one up with my finger. This is what it looks like. Look how sparkly and reflective that is. Absolutely gorgeous. So I'm just going to tap this all over my lid. I'm going to bring it all over to my inner corner. I'm going to kind of softly tap it into this shade out here, blend everything together. And look at how beautiful that is. I did get a little bit of fallout with that, but it is just kind of fluffing away. Okay, so next I'm gonna go in with this iridescent topper shade up here. This one is called OOTD, and I am gonna put this one on my inner corner, but before I do that, I wanna put it like in the center of my lid, just tap it over the top, kind of see what effect we can get. But that is what that shade looks like. Look at how gorgeous that is. You can definitely see that little bit of a purple flip to it. So like I said, I'm just gonna tap this right here on the center of my lid and see what this is going to do. And then I'm gonna pick it up with my Singe Beauty EO1, spray it with some MAC Fix Plus and put it on my inner corner. But look at that. That just amplified all of the reflection, sparkle, and shimmer on my eye. That is so beautiful. All right, OOTD on my Singe Beauty EO1, spray it with my MAC Fix Plus, and let's pop this in here and see what this is going to do. Oh, that is so pretty. Absolutely gorgeous. All right, y'all, that is the completed look, and I think this is absolutely beautiful. I am loving the way those two shimmers look on the lid. I love the way the mattes blended together. It was very effortless. I didn't experience any issues with the mattes. I didn't experience any issues with the shimmers either. I did get a little bit of fallout, and it didn't quite fluff away, but I also don't have any powder on my face either. Just a little bit under my eye, but it's okay. I'm not mad about it. I still think this is absolutely beautiful. But to finish off this look, I did go ahead and line my lid and my lower lash line with a Victoria Beckham Satin Kajal Liner. This is in the shade Bordeaux. And then for mascara, I went in with my Charmacy Volumizing Mascara. But let's go ahead and pop into this second look because I think I want to play with the oranges and the greens in this one. So kind of what I'm thinking is giving the oranges their moment to shine on the lid and then doing some greens on the lower lash line, and then kind of go from there with the shimmers. I don't know what I want to do with that yet, but I am going to start with this shade right here. This one is called Pumpkin Spice. Absolutely love that. Very appropriate for the shade. And I'm going to pick this one up with a BK Beauty 212, and I'm just going to do kind of the same technique that I did over here. I'm going to fluff this into my crease, building up depth, definition, shape, and all of that. I don't usually stray too far from this technique with my eyeshadow looks. I just find it to be easy, very flattering on my eyes, and I love the way that it always turns out. And you know, if it ain't broke, you don't fix it. Next, I'm going to go into this shade called Comet, and again, I'm going to start to build up my outer corner, build up a little bit more depth, a little more definition, and a little bit of that shape that I want. This is a Refer 15 brush that I'm using, and that is what we're going to do. Like I said, same as the other eye, so nothing exciting really. Before I deepen up my outer corner, I think I want to go in with a little bit of this shade right here and just kind of put it right on my brow bone, kind of soften this right here. I just really want to see what it's going to do, how it's going to act, if it's going to be chalky or if it's going to blend like everything else does in this palette. So that shade is called Girl Dinner, and I'm going to pick it up with my Game Beauty EO7 brush, and I'm very lightly just going to kind of put this right here on my brow bone and just kind of blend it into that first shade that I put down. This is really just for experimental purposes. I don't usually do this, but I want to see what this is gonna do. All right, I definitely think that softened everything up a little bit. It didn't go on chalky. It wasn't super pigmented like I kind of had a feeling it was gonna be. I feel like it went on really, really nicely, very smooth, and it just blended that edge just enough that it's kind of a seamless transition from the dark into my skin tone. But let's go ahead and move on to our last orange shade. It's going to be this one down here, and this one is called Review. So I'm going to pick this one up with, where's the brush that I want? This one right here. Nope, not that one. That is the wrong brush. I'm going to pick it up with a Refer 14 brush, and I'm going to put this onto my outer corner, building up that depth. I want to see how deep I can go. Again, not taking it very far in, just giving that nice smoky look. And then we're going to put some greens on this lower lash line. All right, for my lower lash line, I just want to play with these two greens right here. So I'm going to start with this lighter one, which is called Scrunchy, and I'm going to pick this up with a Singe Beauty EO6 brush, and I'm just going to kind of fluff this along my lower lash line. I'm not going to keep it super precise. I just want to have a nice, very dispersed color down here, and I'm going to bring it all the way across from inner corner to outer corner. All right, next with the BK Beauty 207 brush, I'm gonna go into that deepest green shade at the bottom called Hall, and I'm just gonna put this right here on the outer edge of my outer corner, not bringing it super far in, but I just wanna keep that deep, smoky cohesiveness, just kind of different shades. All right, my eye is primed for sparkle, so I think what I want to do is I want to play with this one all over the lid and then this one on the inner corner. So this one is called Viral. I'm going to put this one all over my lid, so I'm just going to pick this one up on my finger. Again, it has a little bit of not like a super gritty feeling, it's just very stiff. It's not very wet or soft feeling, but it still looks absolutely beautiful, and it went on my lid really nicely. So we're going to see how this one does as well, and that is beautiful, very reflective. It goes on nice and smooth, and I'm not getting any fallout with this one, but I did go in just a little bit softer handed when I picked it up, just in anticipation of that fallout. But that looks absolutely beautiful. Oh, I am loving the metallic shimmers from Glaminatrix. I think they're beautiful. They're not shifty, they don't have a flip to them, but they look so beautiful on the lid. All right, and lastly, to finish off this look, we're gonna go in with this iridescent green shimmer topper up here. This one is called GRWM, Get Ready With Me. So I'm gonna pick that one up with my same Singe Beauty EO1 brush. I just wiped it off really good, and I'm gonna spray it with my MAC Fix Plus, and we're gonna pop this one into my inner corner, kind of tying this entire look together. Ooh, that's pretty. I think these would be really nice highlights as well. I already have a highlight on, but I think I might try and pop one of these on and see how it performs. All right, and that's the second completed look with this palette, and I think this one turned out absolutely beautiful as well. I love the color combination of the orange and the greens, and honestly, these oranges are a very subtle orange. They really lean a little bit more on the brown side than they do the true orange side, but I think they're absolutely beautiful, and again, it's the metallic shimmers that are getting me with this palette. But to finish off this look, I did go into my waterline with a Give eyeliner in the shade Greener Pastures, and then I threw in some of my brown YSL Lash Clash mascara. I left out any liner on the top lid. I just really like the way that it looked. But before we zoom out and close out this video, I do want to try using one of these iridescent toppers as a highlighter, and I think I'm going to go in with this one over here, this very neutral one. It has a little bit of a gold flip to it, so I'm going to go ahead and pick that up with, well, I did not prepare, I need a highlighter brush. Here's a good one. I'm gonna pick up this Blinged Brushes, what are you, an F25 brush, and I'm just gonna put a little bit of this on my cheek and see what it does. I wanna see if it's gonna blend into my skin, have a really pretty effect to it, or if it's gonna be like really glittery and harsh. Oh wow, that is beautiful. If you want a colorful, sparkly highlighter, that looks really pretty. Look how reflected that is. Holy smokes. And it does have that transparent base, so when you look straight ahead, you're not gonna get a line on the cheek, but I do think that's very pretty. And like I said, I did not powder my face, so it's not grabbing, it's not sticking or doing anything weird. I think that looks beautiful. All right, let's do the other cheek real quick, and then we will zoom out, give you my first initial impression thoughts, and close out this video. Y'all, I think this palette is beautiful. I had so much fun playing with it. I love both of the looks that I created, and I know I've already said this, I'm a broken record at this point, but the sparkly metallics that Glaminatrix has, just, they're beautiful. I absolutely love them. I love the way they look on my eyes. I love the way they wear. I love that they don't emphasize texture, and they're beautiful. They are very sparkly and reflective. But let's kind of chat about the formula in here. So I didn't experience any issues with the mattes in this palette. They all performed absolutely beautifully. I didn't get any patching, skipping, fallout. I didn't experience any kind of grabbing or anything like that. All the shades built up on one another really nicely, and this is more buildable as far as pigmentation goes. So they're not going to be wildly pigmented right off the bat, but I find that to be a little bit easier to work with, where you can actually start to build up your shade, and it gives you a little bit more versatility, because like this shade right here, I noticed it went on very soft, very light, but when I went and dipped back back in and built up a little bit more, I started to get more of a gradient effect with just one shadow, and I found that to be really impressive. But the shimmers in here I love as well. I've already told y'all I really like their metallic sparkle shade, and yes, I did get a little fallout with actually both shades. I noticed whenever I was doing my liner on this one and got up close with a mirror, I could see a little bit of fallout, but fallout with a shimmer doesn't bother me as much as it does with a matte, because I feel like it fluffs away a little bit easier, and if it leaves any shimmer behind, you can just kind of work that into your highlight, whereas fallout with a matte, it leaves a little bit of a cast of that shade behind. So it's just a personal preference thing. If you don't like fallout at all, then this is probably not going to be a palette for you, because I did experience fallout with these two, and I probably will with these two as well. But I do think that these iridescent topper shades up here on top are absolutely gorgeous. I love that it took this eye look from like a 10 to a 14, and I love that soft iridescent kind of flip on the inner corner. I think they're beautiful. I'm really enjoying this palette. I'm excited to keep playing with it. I think this is a beautiful palette for fall. Of course, you can use it year round, but if you like to kind of go with the vibes of the seasons, this is a really good one for it. I love that they have a smaller pan size in their palettes, and Glaminatrix is an Australian indie brand, so if you live here in the United States, their shipping is a little bit on the pricier side. I understand that, I recognize it, I get it, which is what took me so long to try the brand, but I will say, in my opinion, I find it to be 100% worth it. But like I said, I'm excited to keep playing with this palette. I will give you my final thoughts after I have played with every single shade in here in a future speed reviews video, but that's going to complete this video, y'all. I hope y'all enjoyed it. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. Which look was your favorite? Did you pick up this palette? Do you have anything from Glaminatrix? If you do, what is your favorite palette from the brand? I want to know it all. Let's have that conversation right at that comment section. And as usual, I want to thank you all so much for watching my video and spending your time with me. It truly does mean so much to me. And if you like this video, make sure you give it a big thumbs up before you leave. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and click on that notification bell so that you can be notified of all my future posts here on my channel. I do post quite a few videos every single week, and I wouldn't want you to miss one. But until my next video, have a good one. Bye.